Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we post videos, tap the bell. And if you haven't yet joined our new options trading live channel, links are below in the description along with our Discord and our free options trading group on Facebook. Right now, S&Ps are down 10, Dow's down 107, and NASDAQ is down 58. I was gone last week, took a break from YouTube, just trying to get things settled on my back end. But we're back, ready to go this week, and it's going to be a pretty, I would say probably a pretty crazy week. First things up, we have some earnings coming up. We have let me get into here real quick. Before we get into the actual stocks, we have the Fed minutes being published on Wednesday at 2 p.m., along with some, reports. So we have jobless claims, we have the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, we do have the Market Services PMI, existing home sales, and then a bunch of Fed speakers this week as well. So it's going to be pretty crazy. I don't anticipate with the Fed that they're going to change rates or anything, but they did a lot of talking last week. They're going to be releasing the minutes this week, so just be aware with your positions. I'm going in this week with a clean slate. I currently have on 0 positions, and one of the first things here is Apple. The market cap down on the coronavirus news, and let me just kind of give you an update on what's going on with that right now. On the coronavirus, there's 69,000 confirmed cases and 1,600 deaths. 9,800 people have recovered from the virus, so that's good. However, things are still climbing, and companies like Apple are starting to report that. We did talk about this in the past, that it's important to see what's going to happen to these companies, how long they're going to be shut down, like Apple, Disney, Tesla, Nike. All these people are anyone that was using China for growth in their earnings in their upcoming quarters, or their guidance, saying a lot of companies are trying to grow in China right now, and Apple being one of them. And they warned that, of course, on a holiday, revenue guidance due to production delays, weak demand in China because of coronavirus. Stores were closed, but they recently just opened them, but not to full hours. They're open to shortened hours right now. So some factories are closed. The stores just reopened. So they're saying it's going to impact revenue because they're not going to sell as many iPhones in China. And they're going to have supply issues. So any stock that is relying on China for growth is gonna have issues, and they're most likely gonna lower their guidance. And it did say down here, let's see here. Yeah, they said this is the second time in the last 13 months that Apple has had to cut its guidance due to concerns in China. In January 2019, Apple was forced to slash revenue guidance due to weak iPhone sales in China. And right now they're focusing on getting a lower price cell phone in China right now overall. But what's interesting here, it's been having some issues since the coronavirus. We were on a pretty steady climb with Apple, and since the coronavirus hit, it really hasn't gone above like 325, 326 area, 327 being all-time high. It's still pretty high up here, but due to that guidance cut, the question is, are they going to be buy the dippers? Are they going to try to buy the dip on the stock, or is this going to retreat back to like 280, 260 area? But for the foreseeable future, I am interested in it. I am going to be looking at it for tomorrow, possible day trade. We'll see what happens. Right now, the futures are kind of steady right now. They're trying to push up. I'm going to, on the S&Ps in particular, I'm going to be trading this most likely tomorrow. It's in mid-range right now. Top of the range is 390 for the week, and 3350 is the bottom of the range for the week. So I'm trying to see what range, which way it's going to go, and just play the ranges on that on the weekly for some day trades. But in terms of the 1 year chart, I do think that it could definitely come back down to 3200. I'm not saying, it really depends on what the price action is. Also, the Fed is still pumping money into the market. So just be aware that just because people are lowering guidance doesn't mean the market's going to go down. Always watch price action. A lot of people get confused. They're like, hey, this and this happened, but it's going the opposite direction that I thought it would happen. So focus on the price, focus on the prices on the screen. Price action tells everything. It doesn't matter what happens in the world as long as you concentrate on the price action and you can predict where it's going to head in the future. So with lower guidance, though, Apple lowering guidance, we're anticipating that the stock is going to take a hit. The question is for how long and who's going to buy the dip. Is anybody? I'm sure there's going to be some people. Also, Warren Buffett in the last quarter did unload $800 million in Apple stock, so that news also came out. So we'll see what happens when Warren probably saw. Obviously he's a Apple investor. It kept climbing. He just started shaving off. He's just using risk management, portfolio management to kind of trim some of the fat and just kind of reduce his risk. I don't think Warren Buffett really cares about 800 million in general, but for some reason he needed to lock it in. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm also looking at Amazon for tomorrow or for this week. We had amazing earnings, and now it's kind of looks like it's stalled out. So I'm looking to see if it wants to come back down to 2,000, see if it holds above 2,100, kind of see what happens. Right now, as you can kind of see, I don't really have a plan. Right now, I want to see what the price action comes in at, see what the buyers do, see what the sellers do, and kind of see what the Fed minutes are going to do as well. So I'm mostly going to be focusing on day trades this week. I'm rarely going to be swing trading. If I'm going to swing trade something, it's going to be very, very small. I'm not looking to go big this week. I'm looking to just to take some scalps, some good day trades, some good setups, and execute that. But right now, I'm looking to see if this wants to break 2,100. It really depends on what we're going to open at tomorrow. Also with NVDA as well, they had amazing earnings as well. Just gapped up huge, but they get a lot of revenue from China, so we'll see what happens with that because they could pull back due to this Apple news, and if other companies follow suit and lowering guidance, it's going to push the overall market or these types of stocks down in general. Nike's looks like a good short here, coming back up here to the 105 area. This is probably going to take a hit tomorrow, so we'll see if it'll recover. Might want to take a small short position is what I'm looking for as well on Nike. It's a slow mover, so I just might sell some premium at like 105, 106, something like that. Keep it simple. Also, FXI, I don't know if anyone's trading it. It's the China large caps, tracks the large cap ETFs in China. Has had some pretty good movement. I'm looking for 41 or 40. And for earnings this week, I'm not too excited. Walmart, we're going to have reporting in the morning, so we'll see what that is. There may be a day trade on there. Usually Walmart's not a big mover, but sometimes it has, a lot of times I feel like it has a very delayed, one of the characteristics of Walmart has a delayed response for some reason. Also, we're going to have Medtronic and Advanced Auto Parts in the morning, and then Groupon. I'm not going to trade Groupon, but I know a lot of people do trade Groupon, so it's here. It has pretty liquid options, but I'm not too thrilled. The only ones that I may be interested in this week is Domino's. Stamps.com is kind of interesting, but they're so illiquid, it's ridiculous. I know that, what was it, a couple quarters ago? Was it last quarter? Let's see here. Yeah, they have had some pretty big movements on earnings. It was this one quarter here though. This was in a year ago, February. It went from 207 down to 84, which was a huge thing when they were. I think they had ended their partnership with USPS or something like that. But just be mindful. Earnings this week, I might be looking at Domino's, and Dropbox, Fitbit. I don't really like too much. I think are they getting acquired by? Let's see here. How long they've just been chilling. So I think Google was supposed to acquire them, so that's still in the works as well, but it's just been fading from the high 726. So we'll see what happens with their earnings as well. The Norwegian cruise line probably going to take a hit, and due to probably lowering their guidance. I know that Royal Cruises is also taking a hit recently, so be aware of the travel stocks due to the coronavirus. So it's going to be a busy week. I'm going to be playing it safe, just 1 to 2 trades at a time, concentrate on setups that I know I can win. And if you guys watch this video to the end, come and watch to the end. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.